joining us wherever you are in the world. I have with me Paul THOMPSON, who I recognize one of the top financial experts in the United Kingdom, that if I have a problem, I will call Paul and I'll say, Paul, what do I do? So you are all very, very lucky having Paul to share his best advice and the best tips that would help support you as a business owner to stay afloat. This is yours truly, Dr. Tina Alton, President and Founder of Nations of Women. And this is our initiative to help you, the business owner, stay afloat during these unprecedented times. So Paul, thank you so much again for coming, saying yes, first of all, and coming to be here with us. So would you just take a moment and share a little bit about yourself? And of course, I know that you're the expert, but those of us who have joined us don't necessarily know. So maybe you can share why and how you're the expert that would be bringing. So we can
okay, Tina. Thank you very much for inviting me in, Tina. It's great to see you. And yeah, I think in these times we need to share some knowledge and help as many people as we possibly can. So I really appreciate the opportunity. So who am I? I'm a commercial finance broker. So I act in an independent way to help business owners access the funding they need. I've been working as a broker for over 20 years now, since 1997. We've won 6 awards in the last 7 years, so we must be doing something right.
Absolutely.
We've featured in many print articles in trade press, local papers, and a couple of times in the national press. And we've been featured on the BBC Inside Out programme when they looked into commercial finance and some guys that were not doing the best thing for their clients. So reasonable amount of experience. I've seen a lot of small businesses over the years, owner-occupied businesses, people who invest in properties, all sorts of different types of business. And we work with them to help them achieve their goals in good times. We've come through recessions before, so we help prop them up, help see them through the bad times, so they come out the other side fighting.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. So we're going to go cracking straight in. Now, obviously, you understand finance from a commercial perspective in terms of as a business owner, looking at the SMEs. In this time, we all know that COVID-19 is wreaking havoc, not just for governments, but really for the SMEs as well. How can we begin to prioritize which parts of our finances as a business owner should we really be sitting down and looking to prioritize, if at all that's something we should be doing?
I think it's a very individual thing. We need to look at our own finances as a business owner, because as a business owner, you're not apart from the business. You're not this in a tower where the business is in one tower and you're in a different tower. You're in the same boat. So we've got to look at where the priorities are and who we can negotiate with. If you ignore the business, then you won't be able to pay the personal things.
Yes.
So in that respect, the business is important. But if you don't have a home, then you won't be able to function as a business owner.
Yes.
So in that respect, the personal is more important. So they kind of balance each other out, and you've got to look at kind of who is going to shout the loudest, who is going to cause you the most problems. So I think the answer is look at the things that are most important to you, the things that will stop you trading, things that will stop you living somewhere. So look at mortgage payments and rent, look at the important business funding, such as, again, mortgage, rent, utilities. Talk to those providers. Everybody knows the situation that we're in. There can't be anybody in the country that doesn't understand.
Well, you never know.
Yeah, I'm sure you could find some. But the banks are, lining up to say, yeah, we're going to give people help, we're going to give people time to pay, that sort of thing. So I think talking to the creditors that are going to cause you a problem, be it tax, revenue, be it your mortgage provider or your normal bank or your suppliers who, you know, if you can't get supplies, you can't sell to your customers.
Okay, yeah.
It's all, so talk to them, see who you can work with and find ways to pay and ways to extend. Once that's done, then kind of, it's then time to count up exactly what you can't put off, because not everything can be put off. If you're supplying food, then you may have local suppliers who are reliant on you paying so that they can restock. So not paying them would be crazy because it would just kill the supply chain.
Yeah.
So work out who you still need to pay, where you can continue to make revenue from, because again, if you're a food business, have you still got footfall? Are you able to switch to deliveries or ready meals for people, that sort of thing? So look at how you can continue the business, how you can help the community, because if you help the community now, I'd hope people would remember that in the future.
We keep the supply chain going. Okay, wonderful. So what I'm hearing here is that the business owner should really write down every single cost item, from rent to, you mentioned utilities, so electricity, water, everything that they spend. I guess both sides, because I love what you talked about, the fact that, you know, the business owner isn't sitting in a tower and then the person is outside. You know, they're both important, especially at this time. So I guess I'm hearing is that right on both sides, the personal side and the business side, all your costs, including even utilities, including like the local suppliers. And then should they then begin to maybe add, for example, how much they're paying for each of those? And then the big item, usually I think like mortgages are usually a bigger amount size than, let's say, utility, like electricity bill. So should they then work through from the bigger, figures all the way down, or should they work with oh, don't worry. We're in the times where
we're working from home.
exactly. Soon my cats will be here all crawling all over us. So that's absolutely fine. And then look at, speaking to the you mentioned like home, so that's home mortgage, and then rent, which may be the business premises, for example. Speak to them. What if they say no? Because I have somebody who reached out to me, and the business, they actually, I might not mention the name of the bank yet.
Yeah.
But they have a horse, if that makes sense. They have a horse for the logo. They pull their overdraft, and essentially every single money that was in the account is gone. They're bouncing every direct debit. How should a business owner like that, what's the best thing for them to do? Should they cancel the direct debits, or how do they manage? The bank won't budge. It's like, oh, we need all your accounts for the last 3 years, and we need your how do you call it, liabilities and assets. And this is the season where we need little stress. How should a business owner in this situation, like, what should they do?
I think that's pretty harsh for a bank to do that, but this certainly happened in the last recession as well. These things do happen. I think that business owner or somebody in that sort of situation needs to really sit down and assess, is the business viable? Can I get through this? If the answer to that is yes, then there's a whole market of alternate lenders.
Okay.
Unfortunately, my problem is most business owners don't know about them.
Okay.
Especially since the 2008-9 crisis, there's a whole new industry grown up in small lenders. You've heard of the fintech revolution, and that, it's allowed a lot of new lenders to come out with new types of products and new directions. So there's a lot more liquidity than there was in 2007-8 when the last crisis was brewing. So there's potentially an answer for those sort of people.
Okay.
So if we can see, where their problem is and that there is a solution to that problem, then yeah, there's a very good chance that we could find a lender, bail them out and keep them trading.
Okay, wonderful. So what about businesses that don't have overdrafts? Is this the time for them to consider an overdraft, perhaps?
It is definitely, and the banks should be sympathetic to it. Yeah, again, if it's a healthy business and the bank is seeing the ongoing trade on a normal basis, then they should be supportive through the difficult times. Not always the case, as you said with your previous example, but yeah, they should be extending a little bit of extra help. And the best time to sort of deal with that is early rather than late.
Right. Okay.
Have it in place before the checks start bouncing and the direct debits start coming back.
Okay. Okay, wonderful. And I know just last night, and again before we came on here, the UK government, I know the US, they've released, some stimulus economic package to stimulate the economy to avoid a recession. And I want us to focus on the United Kingdom, where our Prime Minister and I think Minister of Finance, well, the government, let's just put it that way, has released a substantial package to really support our economy. How should the SME, the business owner, what are the key components within that package that they should keep an eye on, and how do they access it? Because I know that it's quite a broad package, but if you think of the small business owner, what are maybe one or two or three of the key items within that package that they definitely need to be aware of, keep an eye on, and access?
The good thing about what they've done is, well, apart from the fact it's not going to help everyone, the grants that they're going for small business and the hospitality sector will come through automatically from local councils. So although the local councils haven't got the full details and the means to do it yet, that will be coming out in the next week or two.
Okay.
So you can most likely check that on your local council's website.
Mm-hmm.
They'll have details and updates as they come through. But the latest I've seen is they should have some information coming through early part of next week as to how it will be administered. But it should just be an automatic payment. Should just almost receive a check through the door.
Okay, wonderful.
So that's a great start. The next step that they've done is the Coronavirus Business Interruption Loan Scheme.
Mm-hmm.
Easy for you to say. Again, we haven't got full details yet. It classes as state aid under EU law. And of course, we're still under EU law.
Mm-hmm.
So there are certain sectors who won't be able to apply for it. Haven't got full details of that yet. And there are certain limits that if you've had more than 200,000 euros of what classes as state aid in the last year or 2 years or however long, again, you won't be able to apply. But the headlines of the scheme are that it will be, they said interest free. Whether that's true or just a payment holiday, accruing interest, nobody's quite sure. But there won't be payments for the first 3 months or so.
Okay.
So it gives businesses a chance to get back on their feet. And seeing that, the rate of infection in China has really dropped off today.
Yeah.
Then hopefully, they started beginning of December. So hopefully, if we give businesses 3 months, we'll be out the other side and back on the road to recovery.
Okay, perfect, brilliant. So I've taken some notes here, which I'll just release at the end of it. But we're nearing the end of our time together. Paul, I want your best thinking as far as the business owner, as far as your industry is concerned. How, if we're sending somebody to you, how are you going to be able to support them, help them from a financial perspective?
So we're looking at the business needs. So understand your finances, understand what the cash burn is going to be for the next 3 to 6 months.
Yeah.
If your revenue falls off a cliff, what do you need to survive? And let's get that in place by one means or another. We can access the government schemes, but we can access the lenders who are just business as usual, who aren't using those schemes. So if one of our customers comes along and they don't fit that scheme, we don't just throw our toes in the air and say, well, we can't help. We'll look for another means to support them. And, you know, it is just a case of pulling together, getting through this, because it's not like 2008. There isn't a massive shortage of money, liquidity problems.
Yeah.
It's going to be very hard and it is going to be tough for the next 3 months, especially if you're in a business that needs people to come through the door. I've got friends in Spain, Italy, and everything is closed. It literally just the essentials. So if you own one of those businesses that is closed, you've got nothing. So plan for the absolute worst, and then, you know, there's going to be a cost, and there's going to be a cost whatever happens, but don't make that cost be your home and your business.
Okay, I love that. So there's always going to be a cost, but whatever it takes, don't let that be your home or your business. And that's why I love what you talked about at the beginning, is to write out the expenses. Usually the big costs include rent, include mortgages. How out to them. My husband actually called our mortgage lenders yesterday, and it's like, can we get a break? This how much do you need? I said, how long can we get, right? So the minimum is 3 months, but they'll go up to 6 months. So I'm like, you know what, just take it. We've done that ourselves as well. Of course, for rent, you know, my husband has to come to me as the landlady. So if he behaves himself, he'll get a a payment holiday. If he's naughty, then Father Christmas will have him. But thank you so much for that. Just to reiterate what you very, very kindly shared with us is understand your business, the cash burn rate in terms of how much money do you need in your business in order to run, and that you would know. It's usually like how much you spend per month, right, versus how much revenue. Can you quickly tell us how does a business owner calculate the burn rate?
The quickest way, and it's probably quite non-scientific, would be download your bank statements. You can normally download them straight into a spreadsheet, so open them in Excel or whatever, and then just go through line by line, taking out the things that you can avoid spending. So transportation costs, they're probably going to be quite down. Anything that you can avoid, then just cut that out. As you say, look at the big costs and try and negotiate with them. Sorry, I'm just distracted. A little flash has come up on my screen to say that the Bank of England's just cut interest rates to 0.1%.
Woo! Is that good?
It's incredible if you're a borrower. Yeah, that, you know, it's a historic low. So yeah, so look at all the costs, negotiate with the big ones, get them off your back, and then look at the ones that you have to pay that you can't reschedule, and that's your cash burn.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that. So for our viewers, our listeners, and our business owners, there will be a downloadable PDF with all the nuggets that Paul has very kindly shared in terms of how do you download your bank statement, in what format, for example, and what do you need to look out for. But please, 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 if there is one thing that you take out from this time together with Paul, it is there is going to be a cost. That's no two ways about that. But whatever it takes, whatever you do, make sure that is not your home and that is not your business. If you have any further questions, at the end of the video, there'll be details for you to contact Paul. Paul is able to help you as a business owner here in the UK in terms of alternative lending. And like he said in the beginning, you know, there are criteria that they would normally use in order to decide, okay, fine, who qualifies and who doesn't. But even if you don't qualify, they're not going to throw you out. There's always a few other options that they can look at with you and help you to understand your finance, help you to come out of this other side. Now, I know that it's frightening times, but if there is something that you've got to do, it's to reach out. So please, if you've listened to this and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I don't have, enough for a burn rate for even 1 month, or I'm afraid of reaching out to my lenders, or they won't, or if you're like the business whose overdraft has been pulled, if you can't get any of those and you really feel stuck, can I just encourage you, just reach out to us. We will connect you to Paul, and he will be able to, with his team and his business, be able to support you, because we want to see you floating. We don't want you to sink. We want you to be able to get through this season, certainly the next 3 months. That is our aim and our goal here at Nations of Women and the Boats Network. So again, Paul, thank you so much for us. Is there anything else you want to share with the business owners, or what? Have we left anything?
The only thing I'd say, I've probably said this already, but to reiterate, don't stick your head in the sand. There is going to be a problem. We are all going to find this tough. So the people that survive are the people that take action. So look at this today, tomorrow, take action, and make sure that your business survives, because that's all we want. Is all these small businesses, we're important to this country and to every country. So yes, yeah, let's make it good.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And is there any free resources that you have that we can offer to our network in terms of being able to get started? Where do we send them, please?
There's a free fact sheet on my blog that I put on. So that's just at acorn.finance. That's the website. To just navigate through to the blog. I haven't even had time to make it simple and into one format yet. So I will be pulling some more stuff together. As soon as the details of the UK special loan scheme comes out, I'll be posting information on that. And I will do a calculator when we finish this call as to how people can download their bank statements and produce a cash burn forecast.
Wonderful. Thank you so much again. And if you have any further questions, just either put in the comments below or email it to us now at nationsofwomen.com, and we'll be able to connect you directly to Paul and his team, or any other person, experts that we have in the network who will be able to support you. So thank you again, but don't stick your head in the sand. Don't let the cost be your home or your business. We're here to support you. And thank you again, Paul, for your valuable time. We're so grateful that you've spared this to us. So thank you again.
Thank you, Tina. Thanks. It's been great.